Hello and welcome. I'm Adi Tukumbo Akintaya with Vox News. A suicide car bomber blew himself up in the parking lot of a top security compound in central Cairo this morning, killing at least 4 people. The explosion damaged the Cairo Security Directorate and sent smoke rising over the capital, raising concerns that an Islamist insurgency is gathering pace. Hours after the attack, 2 more blasts rocked the capital. The Interior Ministry said a crude explosive device killed 1 policeman and wounded 9 others in another Cairo neighborhood. Security sources said a person driving past security vehicles threw a hand grenade in their direction. In Giza, a large district on the outskirts of Cairo, a third explosion went off near a police station. There were no immediate reports of casualties. At least 5 people died and 30 were missing after a fire ripped through a residence for the elderly in the eastern Canadian province of Quebec last night. Firefighters sprayed water to stop a fire that engulfed the 3-story residence d'Auvergne and the small community of L'Île Verte on the south shore of the St. Lawrence River, about 230 kilometers northeast of Quebec City. About 1,500 people live in the town, and several homes near the residence were evacuated. Tunisia's National Assembly has approved the final articles of the country's new constitution 3 years after the uprising against autocrat Zain El Abidine Ben Ali inspired a wave of Arab revolts. Tunisia's new charter, which the Assembly will likely vote on Saturday to approve fully, is widely praised for its inclusiveness. New Premier Mehdi Joumar has promised to appoint a non-political cabinet once the constitution is approved, but his government must decide on economic reforms. A newly appointed election committee has yet to decide on a date for the presidential vote. Regional and international leaders came to congratulate Central African Republic's interim leader, Catherine Samba-Panza, as she was sworn in on Thursday in Bangui. French Foreign Minister Laurent Fabius flew in for the ceremony, but clashes continued even as a new leader was being sworn in. The Red Cross confirmed at least 16 died in the capital on Thursday. Samba-Panza has pledged to meet with armed groups in an effort to restore order in the country. Meanwhile, the World Bank's board has approved $100 million for immediate food, health care and other needs in the Central African Republic. The International Monetary Fund, IMF, also plans to discuss a new loan program with a troubled country once the security situation allows it. French President François Hollande on Thursday met the leaders of Central African Republic religious communities in Paris. After the meeting, Hollande said he hoped the election of Catherine Samba-Panza would bring reconciliation in the country. Bangi's Archbishop Dodone Nzapalainga pleaded for more international help and the presence of a UN force in CAR. The leader of the Muslim community in CAR, Imam Omar Kobine Layama, said most of his country was under the rule of warlords. He explained that CAR's Protestant leader, Nicolas Guéret-Koyame Gbango, had not been able to travel to Paris, but that the intention of the 3 religious leaders was to express themselves jointly in a sign of unity. South Sudan's government and rebels have signed a ceasefire to end more than 5 weeks of fighting that divided Africa's newest nation and brought it to the brink of civil war. Mediators said the pact is expected to be implemented within 24 hours of the signing.
What really worries us in terms of whether the agreement on the cessation of hostilities will stick or not is the capacity of the rebel group. Given that the bulk of the rebel army is made up of civilians who are not subject to military discipline, orders to stop fighting may not be obeyed. And this will certainly make a mockery of the agreement. We would therefore urge IGAD and the broader international community to pay special attention to this problem. Otherwise, the search for peace could be jeopardized.
We believe our comrades who are still languishing in jails are prisoners of their political conscience. Therefore, we remain and demand their release to join the next stage of the comprehensive and inclusive national political dialogue. We deeply believe that their physical participation in the coming peace process is critical.
7 gay men have appeared in a Nigerian court on charges of being involved in same-sex relationships. The case drew thousands of protesters to the court who threw stones at the men as they were being transported back to prison after the trial. Security forces fired into the air to disperse the angry crowd. The men were arrested by the Bauchi State Sharia Commission for allegedly engaging in homosexual activities, acts that contravene the Islamic laws. It was the first case since President Goodluck Jonathan signed a bill that criminalizes same-sex relationships. The trial was adjourned to January 27. Doctors treating the 20-year-old woman who was gang raped by 13 men on the orders of a village court in eastern India say she is stable and recovering well. The woman was punished by the village court for having a relationship with a man from a different community. She is now recovering in hospital and had told police she was assaulted on the night of January 20 in Birbhum district in West Bengal. Police said a male companion was tied up in the village square while the assault on the woman happened in the mud house. And according to the victim's doctor, she's eating food and taking fluids, a sign of recovery.
She is normal. I have already told she is stable, so she is taking her food and other fluids also. It is yet to decide and doctors are looking on her.
Israeli President Shimon Peres has issued an immediate response to Iranian counterpart Hassan Rouhani's speech at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland, emphasizing his opinion that Iran has not done the most important work for peace in the Middle East.
It's the best. I think it's half a job, and the most important half wasn't done. Look, peace is peace, peace for all, peace for every people, without exclusion. And particularly, he doesn't need the 5+1 to stop building missiles. He doesn't need their permission to stop sending arms to Hezbollah. He doesn't have their permission to stop sending arms to Africa and elsewhere. He doesn't need it. He could have announced it and everybody would applaud him.
South Korea has urged North Korea to show its sincerity after the North released an open letter calling for the South's acceptance to its recent conciliatory proposal, insisting it is not deceptive. South Korea's Unification Ministry spokesman Kim Il-do said there were several provocations by North Korea after its peace overtures. The ministry also urged Pyongyang to send a clear message on denuclearization. An event has been organized to raise awareness for African culture and design in Germany. Africa Fashion de Berlin also honored the late anti-apartheid hero Nelson Mandela. Antoinette Holligan reports.
The Berlin Fashion Week successfully came to an end at the weekend with a celebration of one of its latest highlights, Africa Fashion Day Berlin. The celebration took place in style, consisting of a 3-course dinner and a fashion presentation. It comprised of pieces by various designers with African or Caribbean roots. As the first platform of its kind in Germany, Africa Fashion Day Berlin is an exciting and pioneering new platform for designers of the African diaspora. They introduce modern, cosmopolitan fashion inspired by the African aesthetics as well as global trends.
Africa Fashion Day Berlin is a platform for designers of African heritage who are based on the continent or also here in the diaspora. It's a platform for them to present their collection, to network, to create business contacts. You know, we want to bring awareness to the fashion people here in Europe or basically in Germany.
The event was also in honour of the late South African freedom fighter Nelson Mandela.
Since we're doing this event, we need to honor this gorgeous, incredible man, and that's why we just said we're going to have this tribute for Nelson Mandela with a South African designer, Mwenda, who performed South Afro fusion, you know.
Brahma Soibar is a designer. His extravagant suits already sell all over the world. He was born in Guinea-Bissau and discovered his passion for good clothes early on in life. His label BSB sells from Hamburg, Hong Kong, New York and Bali. Brahma Soibar believes that fashion helps connecting people.
A suit is important. If you wear an interesting suit, you can be anywhere and people will talk to you. When I wear my suit, it does not matter where I am. People will approach me. I have met so many people because of it. Clothes are a means of communication.
Africa has developed a booming fashion landscape with new fashion capitals such as Cape Town, Lagos, Dakar and Accra. Africa Fashion Day Berlin introduces the Pan-African design scene to Berlin. In doing so, exclusive events are created with international flair, whilst Afropolitan fashion designers are celebrated. In July, designers from the African continent and diaspora will again be introduced to a German audience, but this time under the patronage of Mrs. Dr. Orma Obama.
Well, that's about it on the Vox News. I'll be back with you shortly, but you can check us out for more news and programs online, voxafrica.co.uk. From me, it's goodbye for now.